Okay, forgive my workspace. Very professional this tutorial. Hehe. So over here, in the source and destination. So source is where you grab something from. So say I have a cookie jar, and I want the cookie. I would reference the cookie jar being the source. So like you're going to get a cookie from the cookie jar. You're taking something from the source, and then the destination, this one would be like your hand. So get it from the source being the cookie jar. I don't know why I'm using cookie jar as an analogy. Oh well. Source, destination. Something has to go from the source to the destination. So like as I work, you'll see some cool things happening. And for now, try to just put it in downloads. I tried documents, didn't work. Just put like something in there. I have done the stuff, but we're gonna start at a clean slate. So yeah, and we're gonna be doing this stuff, this stuff here. Maybe put like some timestamps next to it. I don't know. But yeah, we're doing this stuff. This stuff here. Ooh. So to start with, let's do some code. Oh no, not code. Oh bummer. Now I have a cheat sheet. I'm not going to share with anyone. Instead, I'm going to rewrite it, quote unquote. So this ain't for everything, but say like you were doing it in idle. Pretty sure you can do it in idle. I'm using VS because look at that, it looks great. What you do is you would first save your text. Name this something like moving, and then so to set this up, Control Shift Alt S will bring up this, and then let's just put it somewhere we can remember. So maybe make a new folder somewhere, call it something you can remember. I'm gonna put mine in R. Don't forget to put .py, very important. Won't specify it's a Python file otherwise. And then in your preferred thing, you can go open, find R, O-O-R, in here. So find your folder and you'll see how it has that little logo, it's a Python file. So we're gonna open that up. So moving, we wanna do the little import of the, I'm using shutil for moving copy, and then the OS for rename. Import shutil, and then from here we want to go shutil dot try move. Yep, there we go. So you can see here we need a src stands for source, which we have, right? In theory, if you've made one. DST is shorthand for destination, right? Because you get the DEST, but nah, DST is better because it's short. Nice abbreviation. So we just need those two. Don't worry about you can. I'm not. So we need a source and a document and a thing. So we want to do this. So again, we want that. No, not that. This is the one bad thing with using a secondary software. So we want this to equal our source and this to equal our document, our thing. So here we take our source, right? And do note for these, you want to make it a string, but you want to make it a raw string. It's a Unicode thing. And then we also want to do the same for our destination. So this. Perfect. Now that we have our source, we want to plus our file name, which is something.txt. So for that, since this I'm pointing at the screen, but you can't see me point at the screen, it's a real problem. So that, and then from in here, we want to specify that. You can do it in here. You can do it in your actual variable. But I think it's good practice to do it like this, because then you can do more advanced things when it comes to manipulating it. Something.txt. I recommend if you have a funny name or a difficult name to spell, just paste it. There's no harm. There's no harm in a little bit of copy and paste. Make sure you use this / slash because it's the same as in there, right? You think? Yeah, that. Yes. And then from here you want to just paste in your name, so then it will equal this, right? So that should be exactly that. And then we want to move it to our destination, which is DST, right? You follow, hopefully. So now that this is in here, we can go to moving in here, and then if we save this, again, you just save it in your thing, right? And then reload, there's our LS script, right? Cool. You may notice though, I didn't import BPY, okay? Yeah, I didn't do that. So again, to start, you want a panel. From this little panel, I'll put it in this in panel so we can see it. Yeah, it's in the same one. This one. Can I see it? No. It should be. Anyway, sorry for the thing. So I actually found something pretty cool that makes it a bit easier. So if we go here, oh, that's interesting, already there, huh? Okay, so once you have your panel, we're gonna create a property. So again, we need this. No, actually we don't. Actually we're fine for now. No proceduralism yet. We're gonna do that when we get to the rename, and then in theory you can use the logic from doing the rename to work, like, can I backtrack for it, and if I've done everything right, do the move and copy, right? Because it's one button. I'll show you just now. You turn these into properties and then get the properties via this, but I'll show you how to do that also. So what we want is a button, and we also want an operator, and we want a run script. Run script. And then this one here is moving. So we open up moving right here. Do that, do this, make this onto custom. This will be whatever node tree you're in. I'm in this node tree and it will automatically select your node tree. And then we go to operator, plug that into there, and then bam, we have a button. What happens when we press this button? In theory, this will move. Now would be a good time to do a little saving. Because it might break, especially if you use portals. My button. See? So it moved from source to destination because that's what we've hard coded it to do. It moves from here, which is here, to this line of code, which is here. And if you don't put R, you are gonna get an error. So I'll get an error anyway from doing that. But if I just switch these around, because yeah, and if we remove, say, the R right here, you notice we get this error here. So like it's a Unicode error because it can't like detect where that is. I don't know, bytes confuse me. But if we were to just put a little R there, ta-da, everything works. It's great, it's fantastic. Because I'm assuming when you put an R there, it translates it to this. So like that all the way through. But instead of just doing that, just put an R. Pretty cool. Okay, so that's the move one, right? And if you wanted to do some cool things like proceduralize this, you can. I don't really want to go into detail in it, but you'd have your src, right, equals property. So in properties this refers to subtype, so you can go subtype, file path, or dictionary. So file path will have your thing at the end of it, so you wouldn't need something, right? But you would also need another one because you'd need your destination path, which you can do. So you do, let's just, as an example, do file path, and then in here, if I do display, get the same property, plug this property into here, and now in here. Yeah, so it will be one of these things where we'll actually open up this, and then we'll have everything in it, right? So it will be a full-on file path you can use, and then you just put that in a variable in your script, and then again you just make two of these, put them in here, and then move. Okay, that's one. That's number one right there. That's it. That's You can make a boolean that switches between scripts, destination, or that based on if it's gone to the source, the boolean will equal true. Thus, it will go to thus it will go from destination to source instead of source to destination next time. Okay, so copy. Okay, so you pretty much know how to do copy, I'm assuming. Right? It's the same. It's the same. Except instead of move, so save. Yeah, I'm not going to be using variables yet. I'm going to leave the rename, and then you can go back through and then replace it into an add-on and make it a nice wee add-on of bits and bobs. I'm using what's it called? It's like a box. Box. Yeah. So like keep your settings separate. So like in here, you'd have your like settings. So like and then you'd have a label in here also saying like settings, just to keep it nice and tidy. I'm not doing it at the moment, but I'd also use frames, meaning you can select that, plonk it in there, and then you can also in theory give this a label. Yeah, so this would be your operator, and then like you could do moving, and then you do another one down here, and it would be something else, and something else, and something else, and you can color these however you want, right? RGB, I'm not doing that. It's a good habit, but you know, you can kind of see it by the things that are connected. You can do it. That's your job. No mine. At this very moment it isn't. Okay, moving. Sorry for the delay. So we'll make a new one. So copy file is like this one, except for our source. For our destination, we also add it. Okay. For our destination, we'd also add this. No, you can also rename via this method as well. Right. New text. Name this copy. Save it in your folder, copy.py, make it a Python file, and then go back into your editor and open it. Okay? Cool. So again, import sh util. And then from here, we want to, again, tab menus are very handy. Copy file. So this takes, again, what I was talking about, a source and a destination, right? So I'm just going to copy my source destination from our moving code right here, save some time, no need to waste time. And I'm also going to take this bit here, no need to rewrite code if I've already read it. So in here, we're doing this, but this time I'm going to put this here also. Okay? Like this. So now in theory, if you look over here, this something will be copied to here, but this something here will still be here. So unlike the other one where it moves it from there to there, it will just copy that from there. Same as doing this. Right? Control V, Control C, Control V. Right, and then moving is a bit more like cutting it somewhere. So let's save this and see if this works. of course, I'm going to use this same thing that's set up here to do it. Because why not? Why not? Why not use something that's already there? So in category. Also, when we're doing different scripts, make sure to hit this little compile button, because it won't auto-compile the run script node. So you gotta make sure to hit that button there. Okay, moment of truth, eh? Yep, see? So it went from here to here. Sometimes it can take a little while. As you saw there, it will take a little while. But it will do that. Now, do know, if I hit this button again, looks like nothing happened, right? But if we wait for the time to change, so if we look at the time now, it's 2:24, and if you look at our modified date of this, it's 5:23. So if we hit this button, in theory, yeah, see, it's now 5:24, but you'll notice we can't go past having one of them in the same thing. So the way you can get around this is, again, you can rename semi by doing this. So if we add something to this, so like something 1 for instance, and then we again refresh that, go again, it will add something 1, because it's not exactly the same, So again, if you look at this, it will say EA, because this also says it. But if we make this, save this. Now remember that this, okay, this one says EA, run this again, something's up, man. It will say this, so it is actually replacing it, and you can write a script that will change this number depending on how many things that you have, but I'll leave that for you. It's a little plus equal 1 trick you can do. Sure, there's also a different way. Plus equal it. But yeah, that's how you copy. There's also most definitely another way you can copy. Right, there's a few of them. If you look at this one over here, SHU. You see, there's like all of these. So there's like copy file, copy this, like this. There's a few. Pretty sure we went with this one last time. But copy file, as you can see right here, copy file is the most effective way. Wow. No wonder we're using it, huh? Okay, now for rename. Buckle up, because this is gonna be a long one. And again, you can do the same thing, like put it in an add-on, you know. It's pretty cool. Let me just cover one thing first. So in here, I have my testing split, so you'll be able to see what we're doing. Come on, no, no. Linda sucks. Anyway, in here you'll be able to see what I'm doing. It basically, as I said, takes a file path and breaks it. So I think I was playing around with it a bit up here. Yeah, so I had my full file path as that bit there plus this bit, so it was actually this, but it breaks it into this here and then this here. So as you can see, this is the head of the file, this bit, right? And then this is the tail, this bit. And you retrieve these two bits of data by putting a 1 or a 0 in line bracket, in those brackets. Because it creates two strings and you want to access either 0, which is the head, 1, which is the tail. And this is where we're also using OS. There. It's crashed. That's awesome. It's fantastic. Well, we're gonna make a file called beaning. And yeah, I lost all the stuff, but that's fine. The main one's this one. So save that, save the script, into your script folder, rename new.py so you can edit it in a different text editor, because Blender doesn't have a really cool tab menu. Same thing. Open this. Should be in that thing. And cool. So from here, instead of US util, we're going to import OS this time. OS? Operating System, I think, surely. Now I think it stands for ostrich snake, the most vicious creature in the West. So to start with, we want to split our list. So we're going to have a path in Serpens that gets put in, and then we're going to split. So first define variable split split path, and then equal this to this path split, like so. And this will again take it and do that cool funky thing. So in here we're going to put our variable. Mine's going to be fine, but again you can call it whatever you want. Cool, so that's going to split it. And then you can if you want to see it split, do a print function and then like you go 0 or 1, and then that will give you your split path. I'm not going to do that though. From here we want to take our file, so this is our old name in a way, file old, and then file underscore new. So file new is going to be what it is going to be, and file old is our old one. So our old one is path, but here we're splitting it, right? So, and also we're going to have a variable called like name, as a new name, which we'll plug in. So I'm not going to do it, but like name equals 1, or now it's just going to be 0. We're going to plus the first bit of the split path, so go format, because we're formatting it, and then these things, and then in here and here we want to do sp path 0 for the head, as we need, and then we're going to plus it to our name. So do the same thing, so format 2 bracket things just in case anything breaks. But the difference here is we're going to put one of these slash things, and then we're going to put our name variable right here. So that's our 2 paths that we have. From here we're going to do os.rename, which you guessed it, renames the file. Give me 1 second. Well, obviously you can't, but, you know. Yep, just as I thought. So OS rename, which as you can see down here, source destination, that's it. It will take this and rename it to whatever the other thing is. Okay, so whatever you click on, and then the next name is going to be that. So you go OS rename source, which is our file old, and then your new file, which is file underscore new. Another good way of putting it is like old name, new name, but I'm going file old and then file new, because if you actually look at the thing, you're not just typing in a name to the old name variable, it's an entire path with just a little bit changed at the end. Again, you can use print functions to find that out. Recommend you do. Now in theory, we just need to make the Serpens thing and everything's all good. So save this, go into Blender. Oh, what do we have here? We need those 2 properties I was talking about. Serpens property, call this file name, whatever you want. I'm just calling them these. And the old. Just old. It's very old. In here we have my button. I'm going to call this rename, and then just as an example, I'm going to use a box here to format it nice, and then in here I'm actually going to put my 2 properties. So add node property for old, add this for this, node notice you can't plug those in, but I'll get there. Just hold on. And now we want to do display property, so this will allow it to be shown in the add-on. Right here. This, there, and then we want to plug these property things into here. So this is name, because it's file name, and then this is old. So we want this to be the subtype of file path, and this one here is a string because it's just a string, man. So now a really cool thing I found out you can do is you can just straight up plug this into here, call this name, corresponding to these ones here we put in, put file into here, and then of course we put our old into where file is, so then there. Cool, a nice number of nodes we got there, and in theory this should just work. I hope. I really hope. Alright, yes, after we do this thing. So name, I'm going to call this just, and then in here we want that one here, and we want it to be something, and change it to the epic. And now if we press rename after saving, yep. No, this is fine. So that happened because I hadn't changed this to be renamed, and now if I change this to be renamed, because it was running the move script and it already exists, destination something, and that's why it was putting out an error. So just to make sure we put these in, so then these two things here get updated to be those. And then refresh that just to be 100% sure. Do this one more time. Go. Yep, there we go. See? So that equals 0 now. There we go. Okay. Everything works. Everything works. All that was happening is it was setting to 0. Setting to 0 because I had name equal to 0. So it was updating name to that before I could do that in the script. But it does work. The downside to the system is you have to keep clicking the Blender file every time, but every time you can do it, so it's just equal that. So for instance, if I go in here and type .txt, and in here I refresh that, it wasn't refreshed, that's why it wasn't open before. And then if I just make name there is more, yeah, there we go. Equal that to be that. See? Coolio. And again, the coolest thing with this system, although it's a little annoying how you have to press this, but you'd have to press that anyway, and another thing, is you only need one, right? So because we're splitting it here, it reduces our code from looking really long to a really nice tidy thing. So now with this information, you can do it for moving that. Right, and then for in here you'd have settings, which you do by simply going, get like the label, call it settings. Plug settings into here, plug this into here, plug this one here into that one there into there. There we go. So you'd have the settings, and then you'd have your things in there, and then you could do settings move, settings copy, settings this, or you can just have like a bunch of settings because your dictionary directory and your source aren't really going to change that much. But yeah, copies it, moves it from folder to folder. Good night.